Hey Van Heist, welcome back to another week of Art with me, Mr. Lynch. So, last week we were doing what was called scissor drawing, where we were taking scissors and we were cutting out shapes of paper and we were making a artwork with them in the style of Henri Matisse. This week we're going to be doing a little bit more of that, and we are going to continue our scissor drawing, but instead of drawing something abstract or something that's just shapes and colors and lines, this week we're going to be using our scissor drawing techniques to make something really cool. We're going to be working with cardboard and paper. We're going to be making a scissor drawn robot. So stick around if you want to learn how to do that. All right, so for this cardboard scissor drawn robot project, all we're going to need is some glue. You could use either squeeze glue or a glue stick. Definitely gonna need that scissors again, and some scraps of cardboard and some sort of paper to glue our cardboard to. I'm gonna use this big sheet of black paper, but you can use whatever type of paper you might have at home. So, to start off with our robot, the first thing I like to do is start cutting shapes out of our cardboard pieces. Now, these could be cereal boxes, these could be leftover Kleenex boxes, you could use toilet paper rolls, or just some regular box corrugated cardboard that you might have laying around. I'm gonna start off by just cutting out some shapes and see what they remind me of. Now, when we think of a robot, oftentimes we think of them as being very box-like and angular. You know, robots are machines, so when you think of a machine, what type of shapes do we think of? Last week we talked a lot about organic shapes and Henri Matisse's scissor drawing techniques. This week I want you to think more in the form of shapes. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to start cutting out some shapes. Maybe a small rectangle, maybe a bigger rectangle. And let's see what we can create by just cutting some shapes out. Now, cutting out shapes from big pieces of cardboard can be a little bit difficult, and you might want to ask a parent for some help with that part, because that can be a little bit tough to do with scissors. But once the pieces are a little smaller, it can be a lot easier. Another thing I want to explore is the inside of the cardboard. So I'm actually going to take some of my cardboard, I'm going to start to peel it apart and see what we have going on the inside. Wow. Do you see all these little ridges? We call this corrugated cardboard. It's kind of like there's a piece of paper inside the cardboard that's kind of been folded over on itself and kind of makes this wavy sort of line. That helps the cardboard, things inside the cardboard box, stay protected. It can also help them stay insulated. It can keep things cool or warm. But I'm really interested in that, using this texture for my robot. So I'm gonna cut some shapes out of this too. All right, I've got all my pieces. Now all I gotta do is build a robot. So maybe I'll try to find a piece that can be the main part of my robot's body. So I might wanna find, maybe I'll combine two pieces. Now, I'm gonna be using squeeze glue for this. And something I always say in my art room when applying squeeze glue is we don't wanna put down a big glob. All we need are some dots. So I'm gonna start putting some dots on here just like this. And I say, dot, 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 not a lot. Dot, 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 not a lot. You can see I'm making a nice little line of dots. And then carefully flip it over and place it right here. All right, let's see what else I can do. All right, I think my cardboard robot's looking pretty good. You can see that in some areas, I glued some pieces of cardboard onto others to add that layering effect. This is slowly becoming a three-dimensional sculpture. I'm gonna take a blue marker and I'm gonna add some details. Some screws along the side, because oftentimes robots and machines have lots of bolts and screws and things like that. I'm gonna give my robot some eyes. All right, so my cardboard robot is all complete. And you can definitely play around with these guys a little bit. Like, what kind of things can your robot do? Like maybe if I press this button, boop, then his eyes turn into a TV screen and his hand turns into a game controller and I can play video games. Can't wait to see your images on Seesaw. Make sure to bring your cardboard robot to our next Zoom meeting and we will share our creations. Have fun, Van Heist.